Hi, hello, and welcome to welcome back to PJs and Pages. I'm Danielle. I'm a stay-at-home mom. I read a lot of books, and I've got a few minutes where I can video this because my son is watching Miss Lily on TV. Thank you, Miss Lily. So today I want to talk about Women's History Month, and I am super late on this video. But basically every year in March, we celebrate women's contributions in American history in March. So what I want to do today is I want to recommend a few books that have very strong female characters and that were 5-star reads for me. So really left an impact. I think about them to this day. I think about those characters and yeah. So first up, I've got, and this is in no particular order, by the way. Let me reiterate that. I don't like any one more than the other. They're all 5-star reads to me, and they were all fantastic. So the first book is Magic Lessons by Alice Hoffman. Now, this is the third book that she wrote in the Practical Magic series, and this one actually follows Maria Owens, like the OG witch who they tried to hang, and it basically is just her story. So if you don't know what Practical Magic is about, essentially it's about this family of witches, and they all stem from this one witch, Maria Owens. And basically in this book, Maria Owens is left in a field as a baby with Hannah, and Hannah teaches her the nameless art, which is witchcraft. But it's not witchcraft like you and I consider witchcraft. Like, they have a certain amount of witchiness to them. It is magical realism, but it's more like natural healing things that women throughout centuries have known. The biggest thing that she learns in the natural art is, in Magic Lessons, is that always love someone who will love you back. And eventually Maria is betrayed by the man who once declared his love for her, and she follows him to Salem, Massachusetts, where she invokes the curse that will haunt her family. And it is here that she learns the rules of magic and the lessons she will carry with her for the rest of her life. Love is the only thing that matters. So it is a celebration of life and love, and a showcase of Alice Hoffman's masterful storytelling. And I do love Alice Hoffman. Writes beautifully in all of these books. This one is my favorite of the, I think there's 4 of them. I haven't read the 4th one yet. It's on my TBR list because I have loved all of them. This one is my favorite. I love Maria's story. It is powerful. If you can see, I tabbed it a hell of a lot. All the pink, I don't know, can you see all the pink? All the pink is quotes that I loved. Green is like themes, and you'll see lots of themes about feminism, accepting love, and all sorts of stuff. And orange is her writing style. She just has a phenomenal writing style. Her writing is absolutely beautiful. The way she builds her characters, the way she builds this magic system per se. I wouldn't say it's a magic system. It really is. You have to read the books to understand. But basically, these books are just an ode to feminism and the way women have been treated throughout history, and it's beautiful. It really is. So Magic Lessons by Alice Hoffman. Another book that I want to recommend, and I've recommended it before on my channel, is Lessons in Chemistry by Bonnie Garmus. Now, I know apparently she hates this cover. I actually like it. I like the cartoony covers. I think she didn't like the pink is what it was, maybe. I don't know. I like pink. I'm a girly girl. Oh well, I know that the main character is not. But essentially, Lessons in Chemistry follows chemist Elizabeth Zott, who in the 1960s, who is a chemist for an all-male team at Hastings Research Institute. And she ends up in a relationship with Calvin Evans, who is a Nobel Prize nominated grudge holder, and he falls in love with her. But life is unpredictable, and she ends up a single mother and raising her child in a world that does not accept women in positions of power or having any kind of independence whatsoever. This is before women can even get a credit card on their own. So 1960s, guys, 1960s, and women could not get a credit card on their own, just saying. Anywho, and she ends up becoming basically like a cooking show host, called Supper at 6, where she starts to use her platform to teach women about chemistry through cooking. And it is just phenomenal. It is such a good story, an empowering story about women in the field of science, and coming into their own, fighting the patriarchy. It is beautiful. Absolutely loved this, read this. Was one of the first books I read after my big pregnancy reading slump of 2021. And I picked it up while I was basically with a newborn, and I had nothing better to do but read while he was sleeping. So yeah, excellent book, highly recommend. The next book that I want to recommend is Circe by Madeline Miller. And this one is an older book, a much older book. I think, 2018 is when I read this one. So this is about Circe, the witch from, I think, is it Homer's Iliad or the Odyssey? I can't remember which one, but essentially this is her story. It's a retelling of Circe's story, placing her, like, taking into consideration the fact that she was a woman in a time period where women were not treated necessarily correctly, and any woman who had any semblance of power was immediately castigated as a witch. And yeah, I mean, she does have magical powers because she is is she the daughter of a god of some sort? Yeah, Helios, the god of sun. Yeah. But essentially, it shows you the way Odysseus treats Circe and the reason why she is the way that she is. And it's a very powerful story. If you haven't read Madeline Miller's work yet, she writes very well. I haven't been able to pick up the Song of Achilles, which is another one of her books, because I'm terrified it's going to make me cry, because this made me cry. But it was beautifully written. It is a story about a strong female fighting the patriarchy. That's going to be a common theme in these books. So anyway, Circe by Madeline Miller, phenomenal book. Definitely recommend it. Yeah, Zeus banishes her to a deserted island where she hones her occult craft, tames wild beasts, and crosses paths with many of the most famous figures in all of mythology, including the Minotaur, Daedalus and his doomed son Icarus, the murderous Medea, and of course, wily Odysseus. But there is danger too, for a woman who stands alone, and Circe unwittingly draws the wrath of both men and gods, ultimately finding herself pitted against one of the most terrifying and vengeful of the Olympians. To protect what she loves most, Circe must summon all of her strength and choose once and for all whether she belongs with the gods she is born from or the mortals she has come to love. It's just a really powerful story. It's beautiful. You feel so much for Circe in all of the stories. She is pitted as the villain, and yeah, there's not really a reason why. It's just that she's Circe and she's a witch, but there's always a backstory, and this gives you her backstory. And next, I've got The Book of Longings by Sue Monk Kidd. Now, this one is a little bit contentious for some people because it is the story of, what is her name again? Anna, who is actually the wife of Jesus Christ. Like I said, some people think that it is sacrilegious. Historically, it's pretty accurate. Not going to tell you what to believe, but if you're looking for a book with a strong female character, this one is it. It's about Anna, who is rebellious and ambitious and has a brilliant mind, a daring spirit, which is not good in this time period. And she encounters 18-year-old Jesus, who changes everything. Their marriage evolves with love and conflict, humor and pathos in Nazareth, where Anna makes a home with Jesus, his brothers, and their mother, Mary. Yes, Jesus had brothers. Mary had other children. This is not talked about in the Bible. Apparently, this is part of the story. Now, is this based on fact or is it fiction? I couldn't tell you. I honestly don't know. There is a note from the author in the back that talks about how she decided to write about this, but she is a Christian woman. She wrote this with all the love in her Christian heart. It does not portray Jesus as being awful. I don't think Anna even ends up having children with him. Read the book, find out, because I can't remember. It's been a while. I read this in the haze of newbornhood. So, but I do remember loving Anna and how she fights against, you know, what women are perceived to have to do and part of what they need to be. She ends up exiled basically, and she supports Jesus his entire career, up to his death, after his death, the whole thing. It's a powerful story. Yeah, and it's an interesting look at history from a different perspective. The final book I want to recommend is The Grace Year by Kim Liggett. I actually met with this author to talk about this book way back in 2020, 2021, something like that. I read this with my book club and it was phenomenal. It is a YA dystopian novel about I can't remember the main character's name, but basically in this world, the girls, when they reach a certain age in puberty, they are sent to this island to get rid of their magic. And they're basically left there to be awful to each other, like top dog who gets out alive. Some girls do not come back. Some girls survive, some are traumatized, and it talks about generational trauma and things like that. But essentially they are sent to this island where their magic will eventually come out of them, and then they will come back where they will be wedded to whatever male their parents choose for them, or male chooses them, or whatever. Very patriarchal society, and it talks a lot about those things. The main character is very strong-willed, doesn't want to do what they tell her to do, which is considered her magic. And yeah, so it's a really powerful story about how women treat one another. And I think what a lot of people were saying when we were reading it was it's like a cross of the Hunger Games meets Lord of the Flies. So with women, take that what you will. I haven't read Lord of the Flies, so I can't attest to that. I can kind of see the Hunger Games aspect since they're sent to this island to basically duke it out. But yeah, so very interesting book. If you haven't read it, I highly recommend it. It is a quick read and it is a powerful read. Once again, lots of themes of fight the patriarchy. It is a common theme for me in my books that I love. And it was also a 5-star read. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 5-star reads with strong female characters for Women's History Month. I'm sorry that I'm getting it back to you so late, in case you wanted to read one during Women's History Month, but you know, life happens. But hopefully you'll be able to get at least one in before the end of the month. And thank you so much for watching. If you've read any of these books and you have comments about them, strong feelings for or against, please leave them in the comments below. If you have other recommendations of books with strong female characters, fight the patriarchy type themes that you think that I would enjoy reading based off of my recommendations, please leave them in the comments. I really, really want to know what they are so that I can add them to my TBR. Not that I need any more, but you know. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video, hopefully. Bye.